Do you have trouble recruiting enough qualified participants for your studies, or you feel like the participants you do get weren't being entirely truthful? Check out this video for some common mistakes on screeners that researchers make. My name is Lindsay Lachele, and I've been a UX researcher for about 10 years now. I started this channel to help young and aspiring UX researchers learn more about the field and do better research. These tips will help you avoid scammers who just want to make money on research and may not be being entirely truthful on their screener. And it will help you avoid alienating participants who could be a great fit either now or even in future studies. So the first mistake I see a lot is people asking yes or no questions. When you ask yes or no questions, it's a lot easier for people to figure out which answer you're looking for and which answer will get them into the study. Another mistake that I see quite often is that researchers will ask a question and it sort of hints at what they're looking at, and so it will give you the right answer to a future question. For example, they may ask, what brand of shoes do you currently own? And then it may ask, which of the following are you looking to buy? And it'll say, shoes, coat, t-shirt. Since the previous question is about shoes, it seems more likely that by selecting shoes, you'll get into the test. This one is more of a tip than a real mistake that companies make. So when you're asking about brands that people use or brands that people interact with, it's nice to throw in a fake option to eliminate the people who just select every single option on the list. So more on the side of avoiding alienating participants, one that I see a lot is that there will be a question with a lot of options and there's no none of the above. So for example, this question, they're obviously looking for something in particular and they may have people taking this screener who aren't what they're looking for and don't fit into any of these categories, and really none of the above would be the best choice for them to select, and those people could just be screened out very easily. But in not giving them a none of the above option, you're potentially turning them off to future research opportunities with your company. This is a mistake I see on recruiting sites where they pre-ask a lot of questions of the participants, and so they already have information. And then the recruiting person asks questions that have already been covered by the pre-screening. And so that can be a little bit frustrating because some of these screeners can get quite long. And so being asked questions that you've already been asked before, that you've already answered, especially ones that aren't likely to change, like your racial background, is kind of annoying because they already have that information, they can already screen for it, and so why are they bothering to waste your time in asking it over again? This one is a mistake I see a lot that probably causes abandonment. They ask questions that require a lot of thought and effort, perhaps going to look up information, and that can be a problem because people may go look up the information, then they get distracted, then they just think, never mind, it's probably not worth the $10 or $20 I was gonna get for that study, so I'll just go, play around on Facebook or shop on Amazon or whatever. This is a mistake that I've definitely made, which is not having someone read over your screener before you send it out, just to make sure that all the questions make sense. So this example is sort of asking two things. Do you have a smartphone but you don't use it? And it's giving me options. So yes, I feel like a yes answer is yes, I have a smartphone, but I don't use it for photos or video. But then the next option on the list, it's that option, and then there's a no. So if I answer no, does that mean that I don't have a smartphone at all? Or if I answer no, does that mean that I have a smartphone but I do use it for photos and videos? So this question is super not clear on what exactly they're even asking. And so having someone to just read over your screener real quick and just make sure that everything makes sense is a great idea. And finally, the one that I see a lot is asking people to predict their future behavior rather than talk about their past behavior. And this one I like to use the example of, like, if you ask me how many times am I gonna work out in the next 2 weeks? Oh, I'm probably gonna work out 4 to 6 times. Definitely 4 to 6 times, go to the gym 2 to 3 times a week. Absolutely, for sure. But when you ask me how many times did I work out in the last 2 weeks, 3 times. I went once last night and then once on Saturday and once on the Monday before. So just the 3 times in 2 weeks. And then a tip for writing great screener questions is to go sign up and be a participant on these sites. So userinterviews.com, usertesting.com. If they are asking if you work in, market research or UX research, definitely don't lie about that. Definitely be totally honest. But if they don't screen you out, then there's no problem with doing that particular study. And you can see a lot of examples of screener questions, and you can see which ones really tell you what they're looking for and how can you avoid that in the future, or which ones just don't make sense or just don't seem to be good questions. And that's a great way to improve your screeners. Hope this was helpful. If you have any comments, definitely drop them down below. If you like this video, hit the like button, and thanks. Then get distracted. Coda, go on, go lay down. Go on. I also sometimes make... What are you doing? Coda, what are you doing? Hey, go lay down somewhere. Go somewhere else.